Could Dienach be a fiction character made by Papakhadzis? In Greece, this has been a discussion topic for over 40 years amongst the readers of the original book. Is this an actual diary or just Papakhadzis' own predictions about the future? Was Dienach a real person? Let's look at the facts. Keeping in mind that Professor Papakhadzis was the only person, with the exception of Dienach's other students, that had direct contact with Paul Amadeus Dienach before he died. George Papakhadzis claims that he tried to track down information about Dienach by visiting Zurich 12 times between 1952 and 1966. He could not find a single trace of him, nor any relatives, neighbors, or friends. Dienach, who is thought to have fought with the Germans during World War I, probably never revealed his true identity when he came to Greece, a country that had fought against the Germans. We have to remark that while Papakhadzis was just a student at the time of receiving Dienach's diary, he went on to become a very respectable man of his era. He was a prominent professor of administrative law, rector of Pantheon University of Social and Political Sciences, founding member of the Greek Philosophical Society, and vice president of the Council of State, the Supreme Court of Greece. He was a man of impeccable credibility who risked a lot in publishing Dienach's work, and this on its own reflects his unwavering belief in its authenticity. Apart from Dienach's diary, any other published work from George Papakhadzis is strictly scientific. According to an extract from the introduction of the 1979 edition of the book by Professor Papakhadzis, the translator of the original texts knew Dienach personally. His belief is that the inspiration and writing of these texts wasn't an imaginary creation of Dienach based on his education and insightful abilities. It is a true phenomenon of parapsychology that was linked to his life. Maybe he has also added his own things. Maybe he didn't see or live all of the events that he so vividly describes and presents. What is certain is that most of the basic elements of his texts are true experiences that he had. He lived in advance, a part of the future to come, and a metaphysical phenomenon of incredible clarity happened to him. A phenomenon of parapsychology that rarely happens with such an intensity and roughness. Thanks to him, what is going to happen on Earth, starting from the last decades of the 20th century up to 3906 AD, is now known to us, at least in general terms. What happened to the German manuscripts? Professor George Papakhadzis completed the translation of Dienach's diary from 1926 to 1940, especially in his spare time and on his vacations. According to the professor's article in Parnassus Literature Magazine, issue 1966A, the most important literature magazine of Greece, on the eve of Christmas in 1944, Papakhadzis was staying with friends at a house at Theseo, a region which was also occupied by the Greek People's Liberation Army, Hellas. When the soldiers caught sight of Dienach's notes, which were of course in German, they confiscated them because they considered them suspicious. They told Papakhadzis that they would return them only after they had examined their contents. They never did. But, as we have said, by then Papakhadzis had already finished the translation. According to another scenario regarding the manuscript's journey, the original diary was for several years in the possession of the Greek Masonic Lodge of Athens, of which Professor Papakhadzis was a high-ranking member. When Papakhadzis decided to publish the book, the Masons kept the original manuscripts as a part of their legacy. Papakhadzis never said a word about that and tried to hide the existence of the manuscripts. But that is something that needs Dan Brown and his hero Professor Langdon to investigate. We simply focus on the content. How are the Masons involved in the story? After the end of World War II and the Greek Civil War, Papakhadzis gave the translated diary to some of his friends. Masons, Theosophists, professors of theology, and two anti-Nazi Germans. When everybody realized what they had in their hands, the diary was kept within a close philosophical circle and in the Tectonic Lodge, in which he was a high-ranking member. The book was taken very seriously by the Masons, who did not want the information spread to a larger circle. They considered the book to be almost holy, containing wisdom about the future of humanity and better kept only for the few. They even discouraged Papakhazis from publishing the book, but the professor had made up his mind.